Next up is Joe Visconti from West Hartford.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess Mr. Varenja left. We served together on West Hartford Town Council. We stayed up this late one night doing pedal cab legislation. Well, we passed it, but there's no pedal cabs in West Hartford anymore. I'd like to start off with something really important, I think. Sitting here since 11 o'clock this morning, I've heard it all as you've heard it all. Very enlightening on both sides of the issues. But I think the insensitivity that people, I would say, on the left or that are for gun control don't realize just how deep in our heart people that carry guns, have pistol permits for years, and are involved with guns feel about what happened in Newtown. I don't think we could convey just how we feel and what it means to us. We take a different path than those that are against guns. And I think the reason is to walk in the footsteps of Adam Lanza that day and to see what he did in your mind's eye and to experience it leaves us, I would call it on the right, with one path of anger, those on the left with nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go with this. We have a different rage, if you will, than they do. And so I think how it gets articulated, for us, at least on the right, is lost, that we don't feel, we don't care. We carry guns because we fear, you know, the end of the world and all these other things that are happening. And I just really think that it's very important for us to understand just how far on the right we care and how deep we care. I'd like to get into some legal issues right away. Here's my driver's license, 6 years, my gun permit, 5 years, my voting license, lifetime. You know, whatever you do, I'm totally against all these bills, but whatever you do, you've got to think about the fact that the licensing is a different time requirement than the actual car, boat, or gun. I think the greatest hindrance that we're looking at is the registration of the guns, and for a few reasons. I'm actively involved with fundraising to bring lawsuits against the state of Connecticut if the registration goes, and I'll tell you why. Out of all the things, I think we've given up enough terrain in the Second Amendment. I think it's like the right-of-way establishment. After 7 years, someone can use your right-of-way, and now they're coming through your right of property. And that's how our Second Amendment is. It's a right, it's a property right. The Commerce Clause for the federal government allows you to regulate many things commercially. We've seen that with Obamacare, and as well as the other constitutional requirements. But what happens is we've given up much, and many people know, okay, we'll register. We have a gun since 1980 when I got caught in the Mariella boat lift in Miami and went home without a gun with my sister and aunt, gunfire, and we got in the car and got out of there and had to move out of town for about 2 days. Gun stores were closed. It opened my eyes to civil strife. And so that's when I kind of got involved with guns years ago in the 80s. And I went through the whole thing with the AR-15s and whatnot, because you can see if you have the experience. But the gun registration is so important to stop, no matter what, legally, no matter what we do, because it does lead to eventual confiscation, or if not anything, the gun list being released to the public, like it was done in New York. That information, if it can't be protected by the government, comes out. And that's the greatest fear of people. And it enters also into the right of privacy of your home where you store it. People would pay anything in taxation for anything, but the gun registration, I think, is our greatest fear on the right out of everything. I think everyone can swallow many of these things. That one they will not abide by, and they will not follow the law, many people. And I've been questioning for 12 hours whether I would follow the law if you pass it. I've been debating it for 12 hours. Will I comply? Will I tell you how many guns I have in my house, if I have any guns? And so that's pretty scary. I ran for U.S. Congress against John Larson. I've been an elected official sitting on the other side. But to sit here and wonder, oh my God, they're going to find out how many guns I have. I bought them. I gave you the paperwork. I don't know what you did with it. But now you want to tax me? And then what's next? What's next? What's next? And so that, I think, is the greatest challenge for this body, to look at what to do about that. Not necessarily the clips, not necessarily a lot of things that those on the right will storm about, but the registration is brutal. That's all I have to say. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions for Joe from members of the committee? If not, thank you, Joe.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
staying so late.
Good morning.
Good morning. Next